Welcome back to Tech Talk Trove. In our last video, we explored JavaScript functions and how they can make our code more modular and reusable. Today, we're diving into advanced JavaScript concepts that will elevate your programming skills. In this video, we'll cover ES6 modules, which are essential for organizing your code, and delve into object-oriented programming, OOP, to help you structure your code more effectively. By the end, you'll have a solid understanding of these advanced concepts and how to apply them in your projects. Modules are a way to organize and encapsulate code into separate files, making it easier to manage and reuse. They allow you to break your code into small, manageable pieces and export these pieces to be used in other parts of your application. To export variables, functions, or classes from a module, use the export keyword. To import them into another file, use the import keyword. This example shows how to export two functions from a file named math.js and import them into another file named main.js. The add function takes two arguments and returns their sum, while the subtract function returns the difference. Importing these functions into main.js allows us to use them without having to rewrite their logic. Modules can also have a default export, which can be imported without curly braces. This is useful when a module exports a single value or function. In this example, the multiply function is exported as the default export from math.js. When importing it in main.js, we do not need to use curly braces. Default exports provide a convenient way to export a single primary function or value from a module. Object-oriented programming, or OOP, is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects, which can contain data, attributes or properties, and methods, functions. OOP helps in organizing code, making it more modular, reusable, and easier to maintain. Classes are blueprints for creating objects. They encapsulate data and functions that operate on the data. Use the class keyword to define a class. This example defines a person class with a constructor that initializes the name and age properties. The greet method logs a greeting message to the console. We create an instance of the person class named John and call the greet method on it. The constructor function is a special method that is called when an instance of the class is created. Inheritance allows one class to inherit the properties and methods of another class. This promotes code reuse and establishes a natural hierarchy among classes. In this example, the animal class has a speak method that logs a generic sound message. The dog class extends animal and overrides the speak method to log a barking message. The extends keyword is used to create a subclass that inherits from a parent class. We create an instance of the dog class named Rex and call the speak method on it. This demonstrates how inheritance allows us to create more specific classes based on general ones. Encapsulation restricts access to certain components of an object, protecting its internal state and ensuring it is modified only in a controlled manner. Private fields in JavaScript are declared with a nurture symbol and are not accessible outside the class. This example defines a counter class with a private field nurture count. The increment method increases the count, and the getCount method returns the current count. Private fields ensure that the internal state of an object is protected and can only be accessed and modified through public methods. Arrow functions provide a more concise syntax for writing functions and have a lexical this, meaning they inherit the this value from their surrounding scope. This example shows two arrow functions, add and square. The add function takes two arguments and returns their sum, while the square function returns the square of its argument. Arrow functions do not have their own this context, which makes them useful for writing concise callbacks and preserving the context of this. Promises represent the eventual completion of an asynchronous operation, while async await simplifies working with promises by allowing asynchronous code to be written in a synchronous style. This example defines a fetchData function that returns a promise which resolves after 2 seconds. The getData function is an async function that uses await to pause execution until fetchData resolves. This allows us to handle asynchronous operations in a more readable and maintainable way compared to traditional callbacks or promise chaining. Today, we explored ES6 Modules, object-oriented programming in JavaScript, and advanced topics like arrow functions and async await. In the next video, we'll delve deeper into topics such as ES6 modules and more advanced JavaScript concepts. Make sure to subscribe to Tech Talk Trove and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more JavaScript tutorials. Leave your questions or comments below. I'm here to help.